Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Kristen's Epic Adventures. Today we're going to be talking about healing spells from the player's handbook. So make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when the new videos are up, and if you found this content helpful, maybe share it with your friends on social media and give us a thumbs up so more friends can find us. Welcome back everyone. Today we're going to be talking about spells from the player's handbook that heal. Now I'm not talking about resurrection spells or things that bring somebody back from the dead or spells that stabilize people so you don't have to make saving throws, death saves, or anything like that. I'm talking about just the spells that restore hit points and who can use them and what they do. Okay? So our first spell on the list is called Aura of Vitality. Now, these are actually, let me say, these are in alphabetical order because they're in the player's handbook in alphabetical order. So that's how I wrote them down. Aura of Vitality is a 3rd level spell, and it's only available to paladins that are 9th level and up. What Aura of Vitality does is it makes a healing energy radiate in an aura around you. I think that sounds really cool. Some really neat role-playing opportunities there. It has a casting time of 1 action, and the range is self. So this is something that the paladin casts on themselves. And then they have a healing aura around them in a 30-foot radius that lasts up to a minute. It is a concentration spell, so you do have to maintain concentration. But what this does is, as you move around, the aura moves with you, and you can use a bonus action to cause any one creature that's inside the aura to gain 2d6 hit points. I think that one sounds pretty cool. That could use a lot of role-playing opportunities just describing what this aura looks like. Okay, so that's our first one, Aura of Vitality. Our next spell that we're going to go over, and I have 2 of them here that kind of go together, Cure Wounds and Mass Cure Wounds, and there's a big difference between the 2. Now, Cure Wounds is only a 1st level spell. It is available to bards, clerics, and druids that are 1st level or higher, and it's also available to paladins and rangers that are 2nd level or higher. Cure Wounds takes 1 action to cast, and it's instantaneous, but the range is touch, so you have to touch the person you want to cast this on, so you do need to be right next to them. Cure Wounds gives a creature that you touch hit points equal to 1d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. So depending on what your modifier is, it's going to give you anywhere between 8 and a higher amount of hit points. Different spellcasters use different abilities for their spellcasting ability modifier. So that's going to depend on the player or the player character, how much healing someone actually gets from Cure Wounds. 1d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. It does not affect any undead or constructs, so it can't be cast on them. Now, this is also a spell that can be cast at higher levels, even though it's a 1st level spell. If you cast it at a higher spell slot than that, you can add additional d8s. So casting it at 2nd level would be 2d8, 3rd level would be 3d8, and so forth. So that's like a nice basic Cure Wounds that a lot of these classes can get right off the bat when they start the game. Very cool. Now, in addition to Cure Wounds, another one, and this will be out of alphabetical order, but it's because they go together kind of, is Mass Cure Wounds. There's a couple spells in there, healing spells, that have an original version and a much larger version. So that was Cure Wounds. Mass Cure Wounds is a 5th level spell, and it's only available to bards, clerics, and druids of 9th level or higher. So where Cure Wounds also added in paladins and rangers as long as they were 2nd level or higher, for Mass Cure Wounds, it's only the original bards, clerics, and druids. Casting time is also 1 action. This has a 60-foot range. Cure Wounds was just touch, but Mass Cure Wounds says creates a wave of healing energy that washes out from a point of your choice within range. And then it's still a 30-foot radius. So if you're casting this, you get to pick a point up to 60 feet away and create a range 30 feet around that that can heal. And it heals up to 6 creatures. So you get to choose up to 6 creatures. So you could also make sure that you're not healing any enemies, excuse me, that are in that range. And it gives you 3d8 plus your spell casting ability modifier. So much more powerful. We went from 1d8 and your modifier, and you have to touch them, to 3d8 and your modifier, up to 6 creatures in a 30-foot radius 60 feet away. So mass cure wounds is so much more powerful than cure wounds, but again, you have to be a bard, cleric, or druid of 9th level or higher for that one. Also still has no effect on undead or constructs, but it also does the same thing where you can cast it at higher levels. It's 5th level spell, but you can cast it at 6th level and do 4d8 healing, 7th level and do 5d8 healing. So that one sounds really cool. Again, you do have to get your character to a little bit higher level, unless you're playing a game where you create a character of that level, but very cool how the two of them kind of go together and what the differences are. So that was mass cure wounds. The next one that we're going to talk about is really kind of a cute one. I think it's the good berries. Now, good berries literally are little berries. So this is only a 1st level spell. It's for druids and rangers of 1st level or higher, which I think kind of makes sense because it's kind of like a nature-based type spells, and those are kind of nature-based type classes. It is one action to cast. It is touch, and it's instant. So when someone casts this, 10 little berries appear, or good berries, appear in their hand and are infused with magic for the duration. You can eat a good berry. Now you can give these away to people, or you could eat them yourself. You can use one action to eat one berry, and it restores 1 hit point. Now, if you're also playing the type of game that tracks rations and food for the day, a good berry will also sustain a creature for an entire day. So there's no need for like breakfast, lunch, dinner, any of that. You can just have one good berry. Now, they lose their potency if they haven't been consumed within 24 hours. So that's what they mean when they say that they're infused with magic for the duration. They just mean, the 24 hours once you've created them. So that one I think is really kind of cute, but also very helpful if the whole party's getting really low on hit points, or maybe someone just stabilized from their death saves or something, and it helps to give somebody back even 1 hit point so they can be conscious again. You could feed them a good berry. So our next one is the heal spell. Now that one also, just like cure wounds and mass cure wounds, that's what it was called, right? I'm forgetting already. Yes, cure wounds and mass cure wounds. Heal has a mass heal version, so let's go over both of those. Heal is a 6th level spell. It's only available for clerics and druids of 11th level or higher. So this is a pretty big spell because you're getting into the higher level characters now that can wield it. The casting time is 1 action. Range is 60 feet. And what heal does is you choose a creature that you can see within range. So a creature you can see within 60 feet. A surge of positive energy washes through them, and they regain 70 hit points. Yes, 70. I think that's so great. It will also end blindness, deafness, or any disease that the character or the target has. Again, no effect on undead or constructs, and you can cast it at higher levels. It was a 6th level spell that did 70 hit points of healing. So each level higher than that, you add 10 more hit points. You can cast it at 7th level to do 80, 8th level to do 90. And you can see why this is useful for it, or it's only available to higher level characters, because once you get up to levels like that, you have a really good amount of hit points. But battles in combat are also going to probably do a really lot of damage to you. So this is a great way, if your cleric or druid has the heal spell, to get a massive amount of hit points back at once. 70 hit points. I thought that was great. Now, like I said, heal also has a mass heal version. And you can only imagine, you knew the difference between, like, now you know the difference between cure wounds and mass cure wounds, the difference. Check this out. Mass heal is a 9th level spell. Now, 9th level is as high as spells go in Dungeons and Dragons. There's no 10th level spells. That's it. This is the highest. It's only available to clerics that are 17th level and higher. It's still one action. The range is still 60 feet. And it's still instant. But check this out. A flood of healing energy flows from you into injured creatures around you. You restore 700 hit points, divided as you choose among any number of creatures you can see within range. So you can heal your entire party here. If you have, 4 or 5 people and you all gather them around within 60 feet, you can divide 700 hit points up between as many people, as many creatures as you want within 60 feet. Wow. Creatures healed by this spell are also cured of any diseases again, or any effect making them blind or deaf. Can't do it on undead or constructs. So it's pretty similar, but we're going from a 6th level spell that does 70 points to a 9th level spell that does 700 points and can cure probably almost everybody in your party. I think that's really cool. I want to know if any of you have ever used that. Is anybody watching have a cleric that's gotten up to 17th level and had mass heal and used it? Because I want to hear your story. That's going to be so cool. Okay, next spell is called Healing Word. Healing Word is only 1st level, and it's available to bards, clerics, and druids of 1st level and higher. So this is another cool healing spell that brand new characters starting off at level 1 are going to get. If you're creating a brand new party, everybody's level 1, it's always helpful to have somebody in the party that can heal. And Healing Word is a 1st level. Now, the interesting thing about Healing Word is you can cast it as a bonus action. So it doesn't take your action. It's a bonus action, leaving you with an action that you can still do on your turn. It has a range of 60 feet. It's instant. A creature of your choice that you can see within range, the 60 feet, regains hit points equal to 1d4 plus your spell casting ability modifier. Now, a d4 is the smallest die in Dungeons and Dragons, so it's only going to do up to 4 plus your modifier. So it doesn't give a huge amount of hit points back, but it could mean the difference between life and death. And this is, I think, also why it's also available to 1st level characters, and you can do it as a bonus action. So I think it was well written that way, that it balances out very well that way. You can cast it at higher levels to get additional d4s, just like the other spells. So you could cast it at 2nd level to do 2d4 healing, and so on. This is our last one that also has a mass version. So we have Healing Word and we have Mass Healing Word. So while Healing Word was a 1st level spell, Mass Healing Word is a 3rd, not huge or anything, but it's only available to clerics 5th level and up. It is also still a bonus action, very handy, 60-foot range. Now the difference between Healing Word and Mass Healing Word here is, it says you call out words of restoration, and up to 6 creatures of your choice that you can see within range regain 1d4 hit points plus your modifier. And again, you can cast it at higher levels. So Healing Word was 60 feet, 1 creature, and Mass Healing Word is 60 feet up to 6 creatures. So that's the difference between the two. And I really like about Healing Word is that it's a bonus action. So that still leaves you your action to do something else. Very helpful in combat if you want to use a bonus action to heal some of your comrades in the middle of combat. The thing to know, though, about casting spells as bonus actions You're not allowed to cast another spell as your action, only a cantrip. So you can't really do two spells, and by spells I mean spells that have like a level during your turn. Your other one would have to be a cantrip. Or you can still do things though, like attack, or use the help action, or disengage or dodge, things like that. Okay. Next we have Power Word Heal. This is a really good one too. This is also a 9th level spell, so the highest they go in Dungeons and Dragons. It is only available to bards of 17th level or higher. It cast time is an action, but it's touch again. So you have to be right next to the creature you want to cast it on because you have to touch them. And it says a wave of healing energy washes over the creature, and get this, they regain all their hit points. It's not even a number. There's no dice roll. They get all their hit points back to their maximum. I thought that was really cool. And bards are so interesting that way because some people, if they're comfortable, might play bards that, you know, they sing because they're very musical, or like to act, things like that. They're very involved in the arts. So there's a lot of really cool role-playing opportunities, I think, here for bards to cast Power Word Heal and give somebody back all their hit points. It also says if they are charmed, frightened, paralyzed, or stunned, that ends. And an interesting thing here too, I thought this was really cool. If the creature that was healed was prone, laying flat, they can use their reaction to stand up. Normally, you have to use half of your movement to stand up, but this gives the person that it was cast on the opportunity to use their reaction to stand up. So that's pretty cool. All right, what's next? We're almost done. Okay, we have 2 more spells to go over. If you notice things look slightly different all of a sudden, I was recording this in the morning before work and my camera battery died. I charged it all day while I was at work. Now that I'm home, the lighting is different. My hair might be different. It probably got messed up in the Jeep. Anyway, here's the last 2 spells in our list. Prayer of Healing is the next spell. That is a 2nd level spell. It's available only to clerics of 3rd level or higher. Now the casting time on this one is 10 minutes. So this is not something you want to cast in the middle of battle. Has to be during some downtime or when there's not much going on or the battle is over. You don't want to be casting that in the middle of battle. It'll take way too long. It has a range of 30 feet. The duration is that it's instant. Now what happens with Prayer of Healing is up to 6 creatures of your choice that you can see within range, which was 30 feet. Each regain hit points equal to 2d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. Still doesn't work on undead or constructs. None of these spells do. And at higher levels, you can cast it and it adds an additional 1d8. So remember, it was a 2nd level spell. Pretty low level. At 3rd level, you're going to have a 3d8. At 4th level, you're going to have 4d8. So pretty cool that way if you cast it at higher levels. The neat thing about this one, I think, is that it has a range of 30 feet and does up to 6 creatures, and it's only a 2nd level, but this is why it takes 10 minutes to cast. Okay, our last one, and I think this is my favorite, so it worked out pretty well that it comes in last alphabetically, is Regenerate. Now, Regenerate is a 7th level spell, and it is only available to bards, clerics, and druids of 13th level or higher. So it's a pretty high level spell. Remember, they only go up to 9, and this is 7th level. So it's going to be pretty good. The casting time is a minute. It's not just one action. It does take a minute to cast. The range is touch, so you do have to be next to the creature you want to cast it on. Now this one's interesting because it lasts for an hour once you cast it. Now this is what Regenerate does. You touch a creature and stimulate its natural healing ability. It regains 4d8 plus 15 hit points. But for the duration of the spell, which was an hour, they regain 1 hit point at the start of each of its turns. So that's pretty cool. It's going to give you a lot more than that initial 4d8 plus 15. Here's, I think, the best part of Regenerate. Any severed body parts, fingers, legs, tails, etc., are restored after 2 minutes. It also says if you have the severed body part and can hold it up to the stump, it causes it to reattach. I just think that's so cool. So many good role-playing opportunities. You know, you may have, there's a lot of races in D&D that have tails, or it doesn't even matter, whatever limb, it says fingers, legs, etc. I don't suppose that's why they named it Regenerate, right? That it's going to help those body parts come back. And even if you don't have the severed part, it's going to regrow after 2 minutes. So I thought that was really fun. I want to know what you guys think of all these spells. Again, this is just for the Player's Handbook. A lot of other books out there like Xanathar's and things like that that add additional spells. Maybe we'll go over those in another video. But these are healing spells that strictly restore hit points out of the Player's Handbook. Let me know if you had a favorite. I love Regenerate, but I also love that one that gave you the 700 hit points to divide up between everybody. And I also really like a lot of the low-level ones that some of our beginner player characters, even at level 1, get, because it's just so handy to have a healer in the party right from the start. Anyway, thanks for joining us on another episode of Kristen's Epic Adventures. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when the new videos are up. And if you found this content helpful, give us a thumbs up and more friends can find us. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.